The most talked about cash game in poker is back. At the Dusk Till Dawn Casino, we'll be playing out 48 hours non-stop as the world's biggest names come to town for the big game.
The last few hours have turned the big game on its head with the exit of two of poker's biggest characters. Tony G rode into Nottingham and stole from the rich to give to himself.
The main thing is to bring a lot of cash. When you come to my game, bring a big bag.
That's a nice little rush. Yeah. Won about 50k since you sat down.
Just want to show to the home viewer anyone can do it.
I mean, there's a long way to go. There's a lot of good players, so we'll see what happens. And I'm going to play again, so I might get wiped out in one hand. There's no reason to carry away. I just got to battle hard and focus, and the results will speak for themselves.
The Viffer monster crashed and burned his chips.
Shut up! I've been working position on you my whole life and I've never gotten there, so.
Give her the rest of the money.
And then got evicted from the game in a dramatic style.
Our players with the highest amount of votes are Luke and Viffer. You're in the bottom two right now. Luke has the highest V-chip, therefore he's actually exempt from the vote. So, sorry Viffer, you have to leave.
On your bike, son.
It's been a long journey. I was gonna play the whole time, but I'm like pretty tired anyways, and like they were beating up on me, so it's probably a good thing that I get to go. I got a little bit of my money back. It's always fun to play here. They had a lot of great players, and sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug.
As day one draws to a close, who will suffer and triumph in the big game 5?
I play so bad, it's just like embarrassing. Having a nightmare.
I know you're thinking of some crafty shimmy shammy move, but let me tell you, I'm all over that flop.
Holy, how she talked me down? Oh, jeez.
Tilly, you're killing it. You must be up 100 grand.
I can't help it. Let other people play good. I'll hit the flop.
It's never easy.
Pretty sick.
Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug.
I'm going home, mate. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Eyelids drooping, but the game's still pumping at the Party Poker Big Game 5. Biggest winners in the big game, Tony G, 50K. He's left, but something tells me he might be back. Jennifer Tilly, what a sterling effort. She has played nearly a full day and still winning. The Wolfe in the game, Devilfish, Hit and Run, and Kohler, the qualifier, who took the win. Looking at the other end of the spectrum, Trickett has not been a great 22+ hours for him, but he's still fighting. Viffer wishes that he could still be here. Many of the qualifiers, 4 of them to be exact, been and gone with 8 grand deposits. Trickett topping up for an extra 10,000 pounds. I'm in the box with Neil Channing. We've been in this box for a day, a night, and now a day again. Over 22 hours of the big game 5. Carpenter with the straddle. And it's been ages since Sam Trickett picked up any sort of hand. I mean, really ages.
Cool.
You know, he's been playing his fair share, Neil, but I don't think he's had a premium. You know.
Yeah, but they're not gonna be looking at it, the other guys, and saying, you know, there's Sam Trickett, he's playing super tight. I mean,
well, that's what I mean.
He's still managing to win a few hands here and there without really having a hand. So, yeah, this is interesting now.
It's a nice little spot for Schwartz, who's flopped the nuts, and Luke, who leads out so often. You know, if he's going to play a hand when he's in the blinds and it's been a little
I don't like the check here, actually. I like a lead out.
Because of balancing his range.
Yeah, just, you know, it's what people expect from Luke Schwartz, isn't it? You know, he bets a lot of flops, and he has to bet the flop when he hits it as well. And also check. He's not a big check raiser, Luke. He likes to bet out a lot. Yeah, actually, I don't really like Luke's playing this hand. I wonder. He has got some action, but I don't know. I still don't really like it. Yeah, well, she has a, you know, a pair and a gut shot.
Everyone can get voted off next round.
We've all been here.
No.
He hasn't.
He
hasn't covered himself in glory here.
What's that? Straight? Flush?
Well, he won a bit of money. Jennifer made a slightly weak call, I think, on the flop, but I mean, she had a half a hand, but
yeah, King Jack.
I don't know whether I'm in love with his playing that hand, to be honest with you.
I'm off by one.
I had to say it. You had to, after what you said. It almost went here, but then I was like, oh wait, that's me. Because I knew it wasn't going over you. No worries about that. Happy Thomas? I think
Some of us are still awake.
I think you're right, yeah.
One or two still playing. Sam Trickett and Jennifer Tilly. Where's she gone?
Trickett and Tilly properly tired in the real sense of the word. Torelli's gone for the tie.
Is it still going?
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, he's not American. He's sponsored.
You know, this game has gone through so many incarnations, and the pacing has changed so much. Just talking with Roland to Wolfe on the break, he's really enjoying himself, and he kind of just let out and said, you know, I'm playing so good in spots and so bad in others. And of course, I told him that's exactly what you said, Neil. I think he's having enough fun that he wants to be here for a while, but he doesn't like his seat.
Really?
And he's not going to like this pot either. Neither is Luke. A beautiful little flop for Trickett. Wow, is Schwartz basically drawing dead here?
And then they could like ban it, and then they could legalize it, and then regulate it. And they could just tax everyone.
You know, at this juncture in time.
They can, but they can't.
Yeah, Roland's not just going to fold here, is he? So Sam's bet. And
well, it's 500 up to 2,600, and for Schwartz, like, how tough a spot is this?
Nah, he can fold this because he still has Roland behind him. Like, he doesn't want to raise here. He knows Sam's not really bluffing here very often, not like a total airball. And he's got Roland behind him, so that's a pretty decent fold, but I don't think it was like an impossible one to make.
It was a
but I think Roland was never calling because he has a draw to the nuts, and he's not totally unsure whether his ace or queen are going to be any good. He thinks they might be all right, and definitely if he hits a king, he knows he's got a chance to win a big pot. And that's, you know, he's a gambler, Roland. He's going to call that one every time. Not this one though. This is a bit too much, I think. I think he was just peeling for one look. There you go. And he's kind of regretting it already, isn't he?
Or it's shady, or it's my money's not secure.
You got owned again. Roland, have you won a pot of him? You want to put a food? Oh, with the flush draw.
I want quite a few of you.
Apart from the flush draw.
I have won a few. Not of him. I've got a better position to play you than to play him.
These guys are all trying to figure out how to get the game out of the muck, and I'll tell you what, the best way to get the game out of the muck is for them to all start playing a little.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Jesse. These people all trying to talk a big game about how they're like the best, you know, biggest gambler in the game, and I want to straddle, and I want to ante, and I want to do this, and I want to do that.
Wow!
These are the only two cards most of them are waiting to play.
I think this is the 7th time Torelli's had aces.
There have been a lot of aces out there, and Torelli's had them a few times.
A few. And, you know, Torelli's made this 1,900, and Schwartz, who's sitting on a very big stack here, about 38 grand.
We raised to 4,000.
Now, this is serious business here.
You have me covered? No. Story of the day.
Got it right every time.
If he just calls, Schwartz is going to have to get all this money in a lot of times. You know, the flop, there'll be 8,000, about 10,000 in the pot.
Sorry? I come in the middle of a huge hand.
And Torelli only has 16 back. I mean, isn't there an argument for calling?
There's definitely an argument for calling, because if you raise now, that's it, the game's up. You're not going to get anything out of it. Unless you think that Luke Schwartz always, when he does this kind of thing, has queens, jacks, kings, you know, even 2 10s or ace king.
And you don't want him to knuckle the queens on a king or ace side flop.
Exactly. If you think he's that kind of player, then you re-raise and you think, right, come on, let's get the money in. But if you think he's a player who's got a wide open range for doing this kind of thing, and clearly Luke Schwartz is that kind of player, well, then you have to just flat call, and you have to hope that he barrels away
So it's
at
2,100
you
more?
on the flop.
Yeah, because once he barrels the flop, the money's just going to be all in.
That's it. It's basically all in. And he knows that, Torelli, and he's a good player, and he's done exactly what I expect him to do, which is just to call it. Really, really good play by Torelli. A lot of people wouldn't have played it like that, and he's, in my mind, played it absolutely correctly. And Luke, this is a great flop for ace-jack. You know, Luke's not sure whether he's winning, but he could be up against a pair. He's probably putting Torelli on a middle pair, and he can make him lay it down in his mind. He's gone for quite a small bet. Give himself a bit of wiggle room, because the effective stack is reasonably small. Torelli's not got enormous amounts, and he's thinking, well, a lot of the times here, Torelli will just fold. I think Torelli will just call again here, and yes, he has, yeah, okay.
Luke's nobody's fool, but is he going to get hung out here?
Well, this is an interesting card, isn't it? Because they both have a club in their hand, and Luke might be thinking, well, that's my little safety net in case it all goes wrong. But we know that Alec Torelli's got the ace of clubs.
It's actually drawing dead here.
Yeah, I think Luke must bet again, given the way he's played it, and I think he should go for about 3,600, something in that region. And I think body language tells me this is a check from watching Luke from time to time, but he might take a long time over it, and he might make a bet. He's definitely thinking about it. I think he has to bet, really. I mean, given the way he's played it, he's got to make this move pre-flop. It's a pretty good flop for ace-jack, really. And
tell me some of the hands that Torelli could have played like this, where Schwartz is still going to win this pot.
Well, quite a few. He's going to lay down some middle pairs here. I mean, this is real pressure. You imagine you're sitting there with a pair of sevens or a pair of fives or a pair of eights. Are you really loving life that much at this stage? I mean, you basically have to put all your stack in, really, and you could be 2 outs.
And if he calls here, is the jig pretty much up? Or because of the 3 clubs on board, the jig may not be up? And
Alec Torelli might as well just go all in now, because the money's already, there's not much money left, and, you know, he might as well just put it in, really. If he calls, Luke's going to check to him a hell of a lot on the river. He's going to bet, and Luke's going to fold. He's giving Luke a free card to beat him on the river. You know, obviously he can't really be beat, but he doesn't know that. At that time, I would have made the raise. Well, Alec Torelli will probably quite like that card. He'll kind of think that Ace-King was possibly in Luke's range of hands, and you know, that's not a bad card. And Luke might think that's a bluffing card as well. He's reaching. Yeah, there you go. He definitely thinks that's a bluffing card, and there's no way Alec Torelli's folding. He's going to call for sure. And he's going to win a nice pot and double up, and Luke Schwartz is back behind the 8 ball again.
You got aces, yeah?
The game is up. Schwartz.
Had an ace blocker, innit?
Doubles up
I don't know
Torelli.
if I have 13, so wait.
That's what Torelli was waiting for.
I thought he had aces. I was the only
11,
hand and I had a blocker.
11, 12,
And for Luke
4.
Schwartz.
I don't have 13.
Running into
12,
the big
5,
hand again.
12, 6, 25.
It's ugly. Not for Torelli, who now had 21,000 pounds.
Oh, sorry, I'm just coming off the table to check something. That's all right.
Ben Carpenter's had a quiet patch, and you know, one thing I've noticed is he hasn't ordered off the menu. So.
He's a spot picker, though, isn't he? It's not like he needs a really good hand. He just needs a good spot.
Yeah.
And he's played some, you know, some fairly wacky hands and played them very aggressively. Not complaining about that. I think he's played really well.
Beijing. I need 10. I've got 10 left.
I'll tell you something I've noticed, and it's something that's plaguing both Trickett and Roland. They seem to flop the second best hand an inordinate amount of the time. And because of their stickiness, always seem to lose at least something in the pot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's hard to shake them off when they half hit.
It's obviously the corollary is you often More often you're going to flop the second best hand than the best hand with the 9-4, but I'm not going to mention that to you. And Tilly's doing an RW3 on ST. You had mentioned that the chips go in a clockwise fashion, and
that's supposed to be how it works.
It's actually happening.
Yeah.
Tilly's passed the chips to RW3. Trickett's passed the chips to Tilly. Schwartz went 3 wide to make sure his stack went to Torelli.
Yeah. Who did I have on my right?
He really aggrieved Roland to Wolfe.
Who did I have on my right? And then Oberstadt. She didn't give me $1.
No, she leapfrogged you.
Yeah.
Back after the break with more from the Party Poker Big Game here from the Dusk Till Dawn Casino. From the Dusk Till Dawn Casino, the Party Poker Big Game 5 is playing 48 hours continuously. The clock is ticking, the table is full with characters and loaded with money. Let's head back down to the action.
The action's still getting heavy here, and actually 6 of the players out of the 8 at this table are winning in this game. Tilly and Torelli leading the charge. Trickett the big loser, but Luke Schwartz kind of hot on his heels. He was once winning, and Luke's the kind of player where once the wheels start to come off, you don't know where this track will end.
I don't know. I mean, you guys both had like a... He had a 30,000 one against Vipper. Remember?
Cool.
150 round.
Huh? Cool. Yours was a bit better than mine versus Vipper. Vipper had a got. I was barely the
one against Vipper was fine.
You can afford that, says Roland. I'm on the button.
I like my 1v Feldman, but not the other.
I'll tell you what, next time you're in a situation,
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the Feldman
bonus to play, and I get a piece of the action.
If they do 7.
In that spot, but I get a piece of your action. In case you do win, I want a victory as well. But you get 300 pounds.
A huge pot, but it is multi-way.
Looks like down about
Multi.
This is kind of a positive.
3-7 might be good.
Yeah.
And you know, I just feel like Schwartz in the first position would have bet this flop. I'm not saying it's a mistake to check, Neil, but just the difference. He would have bet this flop so often hours ago.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe he just feels like there's a few too many people in the pot, and these people are not really folding to him. You know, like we were saying about the table image, that he can't really make people fold.
Right.
It may not be that just that, you know, he's losing heart or he's getting a bit down on himself. It may be that he's woken up and realized that he can't really get away with anything right now. But if he can't really get away with anything right now, probably the best adjustment is just to play tight for a while.
Look at the Wolf Howl here. What's woken Roland up?
He just thinks, you know, there's a pot here with loads of different people in it, and I can just pick it up.
Look at the brains on Brad.
I like the way Sam was thinking that, like, he wasn't really going to do anything, but he just looks a bit suspicious about it. He knows Roland can be easily at it there.
It's a great little bet by Roland. I mean, you know, just sort of check raise in the field here. Just, I don't know, picking up that nobody's... It's like a squeeze play on the flop, isn't it?
Exactly.
3 more.
3 more.
Really, Alec? No, not really, Alec. Really? What do you think?
Nah, he's not going to do it. He's suspicious, but he's going to just say, yeah, whatever, let him have it. He hasn't got much invested. He's doing well in the game. Everything's going good. There you go.
And it's such a dry board, which is why it's such a great place to squeeze, right?
It's great. It's great. You know, I'm loving it from Roland.
Wow. Is this weak by Schwartz, or does he have a plan? He needs a 6. Bad.
Yeah.
Trickett like that card.
Yeah. 6,000.
Fold. Jack 9. 3-5 of spades. Having a nightmare.
Huh?
Have 3-5 of spades.
Or try and play good one and
Yeah, that did not feel good for Schwartz. Schwartz is topping up for 10,000 pounds. That was a great play, I think, from the Wolfe.
Set of 9, no, set of 4s. 2 Jack. Big blind. Sound like Jack's a 9.
Numbers starting to get bigger on all sides of this profit and loss. Really painful now for both Trickett and Luke Schwartz, and Torelli cruising.
Alec, do you have a 9?
Race to 300.
Tilly's got that Jackie O thing going on. I'll tell you, the people who don't believe in sunglasses in poker have never played more than 24 hours straight. Stage they are mandatory.
At least you have a draw. We're just drawing dead.
I know you can't fold an overpair to me on the tilt I'm on, innit? So I couldn't get it in.
Spade to get it in.
Re-raise.
Jack of spades to get it in.
Yeah, I know.
And then Carpenter's giving a long look.
Cool. No one's going to put me on a set at this point, are they?
A little pocket pair.
Full.
Your hand like a four as well.
Call.
15?
And 3 ways.
Every time I look, you just sleep away 5K more, you know?
Torelli's made it 900. And Carpenter's called along with Jennifer Tilly, who has, wow, she's going to get some money in here. Now, Jennifer Tilly's 40,000 deep, and Torelli is 40,000 pounds deep.
Yeah, this could be a big pot because I think we mentioned before a couple of times, these two have played plenty of poker together. There is history. They have done sick stuff against each other in pots, and they've both got massive hands, you know. I mean, Alec Torelli, yeah, sure, he knows.
This complicates matters.
Oh, wow. Well, this is interesting. So far, Ben Carpenter hasn't really put too many feet out of place. This is just bad timing by him, a bit unlucky, and yeah, interesting.
Overall, I was going to say, do you like Tilly
Re-raise to 9,000.
Re-raising here better than, is she shopping her hand either way, so she may as well raise? Is that kind of the idea?
I think so. I think if you flat call, and she might as well charge the flush draw. So she knows that one of the two of them has got a flush draw now. Absolutely for certain.
Sorry, Jen, to make you count, but how much do you have? Like, how roughly? Mind if I, like, just count a little bit, just...
When Torelli counts this down, I think he's going to decide that he can never play here. You know, if she has, like...
I think it's a bit unnecessary, this counting down. I mean, like, he's a smart guy. He can see what chip she's got without doing all this, like... It doesn't have to be precise to the next
He doesn't have implied odds because he's not going to be drawing to the nuts. Basically, it's more of a question of how much he can lose. This is never a question of how much he can win, is it?
You're right, you're right.
Sorry, 1 sec.
Unless he's just absolutely positive that Carpenter is just mentally out of this hand. Or even so, I mean, it just feels like a real fold. The pot's not that, I mean, obviously the pot's getting big, but he doesn't have that much money in. It's like...
Yeah, I think this would be crazy to carry on. The only reason, you know, like I said, is we have all this metagame dynamic between, you know, basically history.
Is he just having trouble folding a flush draw on TV?
Well, he just knows that Jennifer Tilly is not as tight as some of these other guys maybe think, and he's played with her a bit, and he knows she can be a bit of a sick gambler. And he's terrified that he's going to do this, and he's going to throw his hand away, and she's going to end up winning it with a queen, and he'd have been in really good shape against a queen, and not in, like, absolutely terrible shape against an 8.
Right, I see. Yes.
I think it's a bit too long now, though.
He's not in, like, the most fantastic shape in the world against a queen, is he? I mean, the pot's gotten big. He's put a grand in. It's 75 grand. It's not exactly like...
I think he's supposed to have folded some time ago, but...
Is he more or less likely than Andrew Feldman was to call against Schwartz?
He's not one of these people that thinks for ages and folds as a routine thing. He's genuinely thinking, I'm sure, but this is...
We need to call the clock. I mean, it's okay.
I think he's definitely folding.
Wow, he looks tortured. I mean, his mouth's gone dry. For the water, he's sweating. He looks stressed. I mean, if he folds here, he's ahead 20,000 pounds and has folded a flush draw to a raise and a re-raise on a paired board. I mean, at the end of the day, you know.
Yeah.
Is this him seeing his chance to really put the hammer down and be the big winner in the big game?
Maybe that is it. Maybe that is it, because a couple of hours ago he was sort of saying, I might not stay that long. Basically he won that really big pot with the aces against the ace-jack against Luke, and before that he was kind of thinking, you know what, I've had a nice game and everything, but I'm kind of tired and I don't want to hog it, and I'm happy to get up. And I sort of had the feeling he wasn't going to last that long. Then he won that big pot. And so I was kind of thinking,
because this is not massive stakes for him, and this guy plays quite big. So this maybe he's thinking how there's this implied odds to actually being the big winner here.
I think we said before
I'm really sorry.
He's doing a lot of traveling, and he hasn't really been playing as much as he was. I think this is still a pretty big game for him, but I've certainly seen him win and lose 30, 50 grand. More than 5 or 6 times, and you know.
I'll tell you what, if part of his idea in this hand is ever to get someone to fold anything of any size at all, he's going to have a hell of a lot of trouble selling the nuts at this stage.
Well, you're absolutely right, and that's why he probably just has to throw it away now.
I'm all in.
Play moves all in. Oh.
And obviously, the game's up for Ben. He folds instantly. Thank God for that. We couldn't wait.
Jen wants a count here, but because he's gone all in, obviously he's decided that he can get Jennifer off a queen, which I think he's definitely right. Even ace queen, right? I mean, he can get her off of here. So he's actually
fold a queen. She's called anyway. I mean, she has an 8. I just have an 8. She says she wasn't really sure she was good. And now Alec's like, oh no, how do I get my money in when I'm 25%?
I was worried about the pocket queen. I didn't want to see that.
This is the biggest pot of the night. This is the biggest pot of the big game.
Wait, it's like a huge hand.
It's not allowed to run twice. It's 89,000 pounds.
And here comes the jack, so...
Gentlemen against you, please. Please, one time.
It's a pretty big pot, this. 89,000 pounds.
That's a lot of money.
You don't see that every day.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a lot of money, and I mean, I'd love to hear his thinking about it. I just can only guess, because of the way he went all in, he thought the fold equity was really compelling.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think after he took all that time, he's going to get less and less fold equity. I mean, Jennifer said, well, you know, I was a bit worried you might have queens full, and that might have all been a big Hollywood job, but still, she's not going to fold, really. I mean, after all that. I don't know. You say you'd really like to know his thought process. You want to run and ask him now, Jesse? I'll just hold the fort here. Let's give it. I tell you what, let's give it.
I don't want to know it so bad that I want a black eye in the process.
Let's give him 10 minutes, shall we? Let him get over it for a second.
Jennifer Tilly's the big winner right now in the big game.
Yeah, she just won 89,000.
So far.
Jesse, where were you when that was going on?
It's just all processes.
Wow, you sounded like really surprised.
She's completely overcome by emotion.
We just watched it in Glorious Technicolor. You sounded like that was the first you heard of it when the graphic came up.
Torelli's topped up for the full 20K, and I'll tell you what, this is one cool dude.
I genuinely wanted the diamond. Like, sometimes it's like,
I didn't want you to think
a flush would be nice. But I told her, I was like,
diamond.
I know, I told her, I'm like,
I heard sincerity in your voice. God, please,
I'm really
give me
rooting
a
against you.
diamond.
Yeah. As you said, it's not every day you're flipping two cards for like 190,000 pounds, is it?
Yeah, and these guys, you know, it's dollars for them. I mean, it's a lot more, isn't it? They're thinking dollars. They're thinking, wow, what is that in dollars? 160, something like that.
Even you, Neil. I mean, white kimonos and gold shoes. Even you don't play for the 100,000-pound flips every day.
Not every day. I can't afford to.
But, it didn't affect my action. Hey, I'm going to give you some action. You just got those chips.
All right, don't look. I know you haven't looked yet, but is there a scarier thing to hear than Robert Williamson III saying, "I'm going to give you some action," when you don't really have a hand?
What does he have? Like the bottom of his range here? Oh, just the 2 jacks. I see.
Is there anything
he's giving action? He's a right old loosey-goosey today.
I know you're thinking of some crafty shimmy-shammy move, but let me tell you, I'm all over that flop.
You think you're on a rush or something? Come on.
I know when I'm on a rush.
All right, she kept me good. I'll be a good boy.
All righty.
Golly, how'd she talk me down? Jeez.
1,500 in the pot.
1,000. I'm the payoff king.
He's got to call that one, I think. I mean, how's she supposed to suddenly have a queen as well as a 10-6 deuce? That one looked an easy call. This is not such a great card for Robert, though, and he might not call this time if Jennifer wants to fire again. Because it's going to be a bigger bet. She's going to bet like 3,200.
One pair.
Check. There you go.
Nice hand.
Yeah.
It's kept getting worse and worse.
I think Sam Trickett would have been betting that river card. That looked like a card that he couldn't possibly have.
Until it started getting kind of ugly.
When you said payoff king, I was like, okay, I'm done.
Hours down, but a mountain still to climb. Join us for more from the Big Game 5.
Welcome back to the Party Poker Big Game. For 48 hours, you'll see some of the biggest players taking to the table to test their endurance and their bankroll in one of the most competitive cash games in the poker calendar. Let's head back to the table.
No, it's the same, nothing changed. He said we're all putting in a quarter Wednesday.
So they're having a bit of a conflap. Basically, there's a new online qualifier coming in. He's only coming with $8 grand, which is what all the online qualifiers come with. Not that that's nothing, but the guys have got a straddle on at the moment. It's not a straddle, it's an ante. The button puts 200, it's dead money every hand. It's a bit expensive for this fella. I mean, he's signed up to come and play a 25-50 game. Suddenly it's 25-50, 200. It's dead money, so it's like everyone putting 25 in every single hand. And it's a bit unfair because the other qualifiers that came in early didn't have to do that. So Marty's come in. I think the players have all agreed that they're going to pay for him when it's his turn. So they don't care.
I think that's very fair, a very fair solution.
Gamblers. It was very fair for him. I'd be pretty happy if I was the fella, I think.
Carpenter's got 12 grand. Feldman's got like 40 here. So, you know, at this stage, Carpenter's made it 900. I mean,
yeah, it can go in. The money can go in here. You know, Ben Carpenter doesn't seem like a guy who's come here to fold too much. He's a tournament player. He's going to know ace-king. It's never a bad thing with fold equity. Here we go. And he's got fold equity. If he shoves all in, it's reasonable that you can make Andrew Feldman pass a bunch of hands that you want him to pass. Hands like 2 8s, 2 7s, 2 6s. You can just have that money that's out there and don't play the flip.
Or the other ace-king. But honestly, does Feldman make this play with the 8s and the 9s and the...
He does occasionally.
He's done it.
Ben's done it.
Did I hear it right?
And Andrew, I think has called instantly,
I'm pretty
hasn't
sure.
he?
I'm just trying to find out for you. Is it all in?
Maybe I'll go to sleep right now and get up and do it.
Yeah, he's called instantly, so it's on their backs. And, Andrew's a decent favourite here. People talk about this as a flip. When the ace-king's unsuited, you know, you're looking at 57-43. You can get a living out of flipping coins where yours is buttered down 57%.
Wow.
Oh, 56-43. I apologise, Jesse. I think there were some split pots out there. Ace-king good in this situation so far for Ben Carpenter, though.
He's back.
There's backdoor straight opportunities. A jack would be pretty painful for Ben. Or, but a queen, yeah. Anyway, a 5 came down.
And the double up for Ben Carpenter.
Yeah, I don't think anyone did much wrong there. Andrew, I think 100% has to call with 2 queens in that spot. I like Ben's shove, though. I think he has fold equity. He can make Andrew possibly lay down 2 10s. Probably not 2 jacks, but, you know, once in a blue moon he might.
I think Ben Carpenter decided to call it quits. That double up has...
Well, he doubled up an insta-quit.
Yeah.
He is an online player, isn't he? That's pretty saucy.
And his first ride on the TV table has been a nice one.
Oh, that's very well. Well, I mean, you know, fair play to him. He did play very well, and perhaps he's thinking, do you know what, if this 27,000 was to go now, I wouldn't really forgive myself, and you know, he could just go in one cooler hand.
Waiting in the wings, some big names who want a piece of this big game. When the coal goes out, they'll come from miles around. Look around this table. You do wonder, these tired faces, how long some of these players can hack it. I mean, Tilly and Trickett been here since the start, and opposite ends. Jennifer, the big winner, and Trickett, the wallet's getting empty. Schwartz, though, still wants to have another crack at this. He doesn't like being stuck. Not when he thinks he's the best player in town. The determination from Sam Trickett. It's kind of like putting the round peg in the square hole. He does not want to go away.
Re-raise to 3,300.
And it was a raise, Trickett with the re-raise, and now Schwartz with the 4-bet with the ace-king. And, you know, the hand's not guaranteed over here. I mean, logically, Schwartz would have a huge hand, but there's more to it, isn't there? I just feel like he wouldn't be doing it against Trickett. I don't know.
About 18, I think, to start the hand.
I don't know. Trickett's got a really bad hand, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you'd rather have the 7-8 here. Oh boy.
This is funny because he knows that Luke gives him a lot of respect. He also knows that Luke is slightly steaming, and he knows that Luke is down, and maybe he wants to kick the guy when he's down and really put the knife in. Well, this is a massive flop, really, for his hand, isn't it? I mean, he's got an overcard and a gut shot. I mean, that's pretty much it. But Luke's got 2 overcards and a gut shot.
I mean, Schwartz has only got 14, and there's 7 in there. I mean, I wonder if he might just go all in.
Yeah, Luke's drawing to the nuts. If he gets called, it's not the end of the world. He could do. I think he's more likely to check raise all in. I think that might work. Or make a really small bet and hope that Sam goes a bit mental. Like bet 1,100 or something. I don't know how much he has bet here. What was it?
Is it really shopping his hand if he does go all in? I guess it really is, isn't it?
No, he's checked. He has checked. And I quite like this. I think it is a bit too much to go all in. He likes the big all in on the river, but
The flop feels too tournamenty, doesn't it?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It's really
These guys like to play through the
isn't he?
streets.
It's really like something that, like...
Well, Sam's definitely going to bet because he's basically, you know, this is a reasonable flop for King 9. If you're going to play King 9, this is the kind of thing you want to see occasionally.
3,500.
3,500. I think this is it. This is all in.
Now he should go all in.
This is all in. There we are. Here he is. Tapi. He doesn't mess about, this Luke Schwartz. Sam called him. Sam called him, gave him a spin.
No, he didn't.
No? Folded. Oh, okay. I thought he, yeah. Well, that was. I thought that was well played by Luke, and yeah, hats off to him there.
Everything still coming up roses for Gentili, ahead more than 66K. The Wolfe and RW3 still on the brighter side, but Andrew Feldman, his apples have turned rotten now, a loser on the side with Torelli and Schwartz. And Sam Trickett buried 40,000 pounds. How much more can he take?
We're 24 hours down in this 48-hour continuous cash game. We're back with all the action from the Party Poker Big Game 5 after the break. It's time to welcome another Party Poker online qualifier to the table. It's Linus Hjulstrom.
How are you? Welcome.
What's your
to
name?
the table.
Linus Hjulstrom.
Is that Swedish?
Yes. I believe he's from Sweden.
Hi.
And
Nice to meet you. Linus? Oh, Linus.
Linus. And
He's pretending. He comes from Newcastle.
I mean, Jennifer Tilley, the big winner, and what a delight it has been to watch her play today. Not just, she has played some great pots. I mean, she's taken it, really taken it to a lot of the players tonight.
All right, don't go on about it. I think she beat me in every pot I played with her. You know, I'm still a bit sore over it. I think you could like have a little bit of compassion for a fellow commentator.
Well, she did, and I'm thinking about a lot of those paired board air 3 bets she made against guys
she played
like
great.
Luke.
She played really good today.
Early on, the Trickett. I mean, in the very first hour of the show, she made some massive bluffs.
I've been telling people, I don't like to always be right, but I have been telling people for a long time that actually Jennifer Tilley is really underestimated, and people are quite rude about her sometimes. I don't know, because she's an actress and because she does all the kind of Dixie stuff. But, you know, she is a good player, and she's played really well today, and she deserves to win a lot of money.
She did, and she has a very good chance to end up the big winner in the big game. Sam Trickett has announced this is his last hand. So there's going to be a real sea of change in this 24-hour cash game, 48-hour cash game.
Just keep those cards. No, I know what happened. I'll tell you what. Run to the river.
You're in trouble in the flip, buddy. He's not folding.
Wow, you're hurting.
Actually, the new audience voted is in, and it appears that I've lost the player eviction.
Maybe you're going to have to go and play. Maybe Mickey Dane is getting into the game.
And a call.
It could be the time for you, Jesse, mate.
Certainly could be.
Sam Trickett happy to flip.
What'll I use for money? Does blueberry menthol?
Don't worry, there's
sweets count.
There's been plenty of people through this game over the last 2 days who haven't got a penny to their name, Jesse. You'll be right at home.
Well, you couldn't have said it better.
Plenty of those guys are borrowing money like they were millionaires.
You couldn't have said it better.
Raise to 5,000. Okay, and a pot.
You're winning. Yeah, I know. You got 3 outs.
Roland
6.
win.
I got 6
And
outs.
no, the hand is over, but in a sense, it's only just begun. Because now Trickett and Feldman are going to run the turn and river for 5,000 pounds, and Trickett's ahead. He's got the 8s. Feldman needs to hit a queen or king. This is way bigger than the pot he just played against the Wolfe. This can only be done in a cash game that's been running longer than 24 hours. I think that's Rule 7A. There's the turn. Oh, and Feldman hit the queen, and then Trickett hit a flush on the river.
Oh my gosh.
That's $5 grand.
Are you going to give me out of that, Feldman?
Are you mad? Huh? I can't. I'll give it to you another time.
You just said you were going to give me out of that.
Yeah, but then I'm going to have to get more chips up otherwise. I'm going to need to reload.
I'm done.
Carrascott's found Jennifer Tilly our biggest winner so far.
25 and a half hours later, and Jennifer Tilly is deciding to step away and let someone else have a chance to win some chips.
Right. I had this crazy idea to play the entire 48 hours, but you know, a lot of times when I pull long sessions, I'm winning, and then you start to get tired and you lose your focus and you start to lose. And when I just doubled up, it seemed as good a time as any to step away from the table. Although I was looking forward to the hallucinating bit, because Sam Trickett said he was starting to hallucinate because he's been awake for like 60 hours already, and he said he's hearing buzzing in his and things spinning around, and I was like, oh, I can't wait till I get to that stage. But you know, it's probably not good to be hallucinating when you're handling large piles of money. So
this is true. Do you think you might go and get a nap and come back, or are you just going to call it?
You know what, I think I'm just going to call it a day. I know there's a lot of exciting people, you know, on, what do you call it, on board. You know, what's that baseball term where
they're all on deck.
On deck, yeah, there's a lot of exciting people on deck. And, you know, towards the end, I was just like a zombie, which I'm sure is not very entertaining. I was just sitting there like, do my cards match? Do they match the board? Yeah, but it was really fun. It was a great run, and you know, I took some really bad beats, but then I chipped back up again. And I love when you double up after you've just doubled up. That's always the greatest thing. Poker is the greatest game in the world. You never know what's going to happen.
It's like the simplest logistic issue is
so it's quite interesting with Trickett, and
I'm going home, mate.
Yeah, you're quite experienced in this,
now?
Neil. If you needed a price,
I've been waiting to leave for 20 minutes.
Actually leaving.
What? Going to bed. I might even get a hotel here.
He's got the other thing of all the people who want to lift with him now. So Luke's like, oh, you couldn't give me a lift, I think.
All right. If I'm going at the same time in the morning.
Luke Schwartz, right now at this table, the biggest loser.
Steaming and stuck. Official. Confirmed.
Is he now the only guy losing at the table left? Oh, no, Torelli.
Yeah, I think Torelli's losing. Who do you think's handling it best? They're both losing roughly the same amount of money. Who do you think's handling the whole situation best? Luke's got 26,000 in front of him. He's losing 23. Alec's got 22 in front of him. He's losing 22.
When you say handling, do you mean like which of these guys looks like?
Okay, if you had to bet. Okay, so Torelli's losing.
Schwartz is more likely to get even.
Torelli's losing 22,000. Okay, in 3 hours' time, where's the number going to be? If he's still on the table.
He's losing 22,000?
Yeah.
I think he'll be losing
more.
No, 19,000.
Oh, okay. You think he's going to pick some back. What about Luke? He's losing 23,000. 3 hours time?
I think he's going to get even.
In 3 hours he'll get even? Wow. Who's going to lose all this money? You know how it works, don't you? Someone has to lose it for someone else to win.
I think this game is opening up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
To be honest,
you fancy they're going to get it all off Feldman? They better wake him up then.
It's a good question. I hadn't thought about that. I hadn't really thought it through that.
Maybe Robert Williamson's going to crack up in a minute. Start just giving it away. Playing every pot.
And Feldman with a 9 deuce, 450.
Nothing wrong with that.
Not a thing.
Well, I mean, if you play 9 deuce, I think 10 jack is your kind of area, isn't it? And I think he's going to win this one.
Hjulstrom has bet this on the button, and Feldman's actually made quite a nice raise.
Absolutely.
Now this is the first sort of hurdle for Hjulstrom. It's a big hurdle.
Oh, wow.
And
he called.
Linus.
Wow. Well, this is interesting. I mean, Andy Feldman's made what looks like a good move here because he's probably thought to himself, well, this guy, you know, he looks a bit nervous. He's new to the table. He's an internet qualifier. I got to pick on him. He seems like if I could choose someone to pick on, I'd pick on him. Don't pick on the two guys that are losing 23 grand. Don't pick on Robert Williamson. Don't pick on Roland. I'll pick on this guy. And it seemed to be a plan steeped in logic, really, but it doesn't appear like it's going to work now because the diamonds come, and your man's got 4 diamonds, and now he's got the pot. So basically, good plan, didn't quite work out.
Tough night for Sam Trickett, and Kara Scott's with him now.
I stayed up for 2 days, like on a flight in the airports, got no sleep before I played, and then I tried to play, and I was feeling tired in the first few hours, and I just I was just like, I can't even speak, I'm so tired, and like some stages in the like I was hallucinating and stuff, and like
what were you seeing?
There was cards just spinning around in my head, and I was just staring at it, and I was like blinking lots and stuff. Like, sometimes I'd be in a pot, I didn't even know if I was in the pot, I'd just be looking around, it'd be on me, and I'd raise when I didn't even know what I had and stuff.
Not optimal.
I don't know why I did that, it was so stupid of me. I kind of feel a bit dumb, isn't it? Like, especially when it's a televised event, to just go and do that. But
no, I think everyone's kind of wants to be out there and stay as long as they possibly can, and I mean, you do start to feel the effects of it, and you probably wouldn't play that long a session normally when you're, you know, playing for just money.
This is what the sick thing is. I felt like if I came into this fresh, I would have had an edge through the whole thing, because I've been playing like 35, 40-hour sessions in Macau, and I've been doing them okay, but just the fact that I stayed up for like 2 days straight, and then went ahead and played it and didn't eat one thing the whole way through it, and I don't know what I've done. People are asking me how much money I've won or lost. I have no idea, and they're like, remember this hand? I can't remember anything. All my head's blank and stuff. And
yeah, that's a bad sign. You need to get your head down.
Yeah, I feel really stupid right now, and I'm gonna feel really stupid for a few days.
Nah, I don't think you should at all. In fact, just go and get your head down. You'll feel better after a short nap even. We'll see you soon again. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
What a night. What a delight for Jennifer Tilly. 67,000 pounds and gone. Tony G with a 50K profit. The Wolfe still going strong on 20K ahead. Carpenter, Devilfish, and the onliner Kohler wall winners as well. Williamson at the table. Looking at the losing side, Sam Trickett. 40,000 pounds. That'll burn a hole in his pocket. Luke Schwartz losing 23K, still fighting it out along with Feldman and Torelli. The others licking wounds.
Join us again for more from the continuous 48-hour cash game that is the Big Game 5.